Okay. So don't worry guys, I do have all the recordings. I can post it, like I can find time today and post it. Don't worry about the recordings. Okay. um, so joinings are the key, for the Oracle PL SQL. If anyone wants to be an Oracle developer, or in future, if you guys want to move on to different technologies like reporting or something, reporting or any other tool, or if you want to go for a data warehousing, Informatica, or big data, Hadoop or something like that. Means any upcoming tools, or any existing tools, anything which you are related to working, joins will be there. Joins are the very important things. Next three classes, we will be discussing about the joins, and as well as some setup operations, and we'll be discussing about the group by, and other functionality, and a subquery. So these three are common for so many applications, or you can switch on to different things. If you understand this one well, even if you are not an Oracle developer, it will be very useful for any future thing. So you guys are following, right? You guys are understanding how important these are.
Yeah.
So if you guys understand the importance of that one, you will be more concentrating more on that one, and that's the reason I want to, I'm stressing more and more, otherwise, I can just continue and go on next topic, but I don't want to do that, because you guys have to understand this one. If you don't understand, don't worry. If you take one more additional class, but you have to understand each and every topic.
Where we use the joins exactly in real time or in the programming?
పోయి వచ్చిన క్లాస్ ఉందని
I didn't get your voice is breaking, Shambhavi. It's echo, your voice is echo.
Let me connect my headset. I'm sorry.
Okay. So apart from that, anyone has any questions?
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, it's clear now. Go on, Shambhavi.
Okay. Like where we'll use the joins in the real-time scenario or in the Oracle DBMS exactly.
So basically, the joins are any time you have the data. Basically,
Okay.
the first thing is, first thing of the database is to store the data into the tables. Very first
Okay.
thing. It is very simple thing. Just write a insert statements, or just write update statement. But don't think
Mm-hmm.
about you are the only customer. Suppose if you go to the bank, you open an account, you will insert a data to a customer table. If you go to the bank, do a transaction, you deposit a check, you do a transaction. So the transaction goes on to transaction tables, deposits, or withdrawals. You go to the ATM card, you do a check, how much balance I have, you did a transaction. So each and everything, each and every activity you do on any site, or online banking, or go to the teller, you do any time of activity, you are inserting, or updating a records. So it will be when you start a bank, or if you start any new thing, it will be a small tables. But think about the Bank of America. If you take any small city, at least you have at least 40 or 50 branches. If you go to the Dallas, or if you go to New Jersey, you see at least in a small suburb, you at least have 5 to 10 banking like tellards. Apart from that, everyone will have the online banking. You do deposit, transfers, and anything. So you will be having the huge data, like one small, like at least a minimum, a small set of the database, at least let's say bank of means bank data, at least you will be having around 250 to around 1000 tables in between, depend on how we design the database. Suppose at least 250 tables, and out of it, like core tables or like 40 50 around, like if you do a transactions, if you do anything. So you store the data, you have the data now, you have billion, I mean, so, 100,000 or million records into your tables. So the challenge is, like what you do with the data. You have to use for some purpose, right? Suppose okay, you have a balance of 10,000, and you want to give a promotion to them. Like if you deposit into saving accounts, you usually, like you get it mail, right? If you deposit, if you put that info, I mean put that into the saving accounts, I will give interest of so and so, I'll give better interest. If you put it on a checking account, I don't give, I mean you don't get it much profit about it. Or like I can offer you a credit card, you get, like mails, right Capital One on everyone. How you get it? Basically, like you have the data on your table, they do some certain process, like this guy is a potential, means this guy is more, I mean if you do a business, basically data means I have to do a business. So that's, so if I do a business to him, with him, like I get profit, something like that. Like he has a money, and he will be using that credit card, so he will be useful for us. So basically you have tables, you have 400 or like 200 or 300 tables, you want to retrieve the data. So if it is a small table, like you write select star from. If it is, if you want to fetch the data between the two tables, you have to joins. So you have to use the joins whenever there is any you want to retrieve the data between the two tables, two or more tables. In real-time scenario, like you want most of the time you never write a statement like select star from table. At least you use at least 2 or 3 tables minimum. So if you are using, I mean to get the sufficient information, so I want to get like account information of you, then I go to the account table. I want to get your address information, like how many times you change the address, like since you have the account with us, you go to the address table. So, and you want to get, like how many times I want to get like how many customer has changed like his address frequently. So you have to join customer table and address table. So something like that, like you scenario, you never you have a scenario, something something like you have to join the tables and retrieve the information. So are guys are following, or is it confusing for you guys?
And like what you said was it's just joining of different columns into dragging all them into a same table.
No,
Like
different
all
table.
the customers.
Yeah, you are joining a different table and retrieving the information from the different table and presenting it to, like you are presenting it means presenting it to, like different teams, so that they will be marketing the team, means they will be using that information for marketing or something like that. It will be very useful for them, like to do a further business. So storing the
Okay.
information doesn't mean, like that it doesn't help us, like we just store the data into the table, doesn't mean that, like it won't be helpful. You have, since these guys, I mean USA is storing data since 1980.
Oh.
Okay, every day you get a new record, they store the data, they don't reject the data, they don't never ever delete a data. So the data is so massive right now, like you have billions of records and different tables, because each time you can't store everything on one single table. So you store the data in different tables. So you have to use it for a meaningful manner, right? The data, you have a data, you want to use it for a meaningful manner. It has to be used for the business, because every time you talk about business, people will talk about the business. That's all they'll talk about. They would never talk about, like oh, I have, like so much beautiful data. So what is the use for that, like if you have a data? So you have to use it for, like for the business, like how do I market this guy? How do I? That's the reason you get it every day in a mail. You receive the marketing information. How they get it that information? Basically, they store their data into the tables and they retrieve it and they present it to the different teams, and that their teams will marketing that information. So whenever you are storing data, you will be storing the data in a different tables, not in a single table. Usually, like at least 10 or 15 or 100 tables they store it. But if you want to retrieve those data into meaningful manner, then you have to use the joins. Are you guys are getting? Or you, don't worry, if you are not following, just ask me again. I'll explain it.
Uh,
Is it clear, or is it confusing, or is it too much for you guys?
I think so. I think so. When we are practicing the things, then we'll come to know.
Right.
I got a small thing like joining all the time. When we are retrieving the information, like retrieves the information taking from different tables, and it retrieves the information. That's what exactly the joining tables, right?
That's correct. That's exactly if you have multiple tables, if you want to retrieve the information, then basically
Mm-hmm.
what you have to do, you have to join the table, join the tables and retrieve the information. So let's suppose, and one more example is you have one table. Usually you can have unlimited columns. Suppose, suppose a table. Suppose okay. So you have you have different tables. Suppose let's say customer, and you have a table called address. One customer can have multiple address. That's a scenario, right? One customer can change the address. That's what we see usually. You go to the bank, you change your address. You change your address by logging in online, or you call up the person, or you go to the bank. You can change your address. So one customer can have 3 or 4 address in a year or 2 years. Usually it do happens. So what I want is, I want the customer ID and customer name, but I want to see how many times, I want to see his latest address information. So you join a customer and address table and retrieve the information, just I just want what is his latest phone number. I want to know the customer ID, customer name, and his latest phone number. So you write up a query. You join these two tables and write up the query. But I have in customer table or 10 or 15 columns. In address table, I have 15 or 20 columns. But you retrieve only 3 columns. That's what I do. So that's what I require, right? I know I just want to know this latest phone number, and just I call the customer and do some business with him to the customer. So all the marketing people doesn't need all 15 or 20 columns. I don't need customer name, customer, so many other information also stored when when he joined to the, I mean so I mean see, when he joined as a customer, customer join date and customer address change date. So you have so much information on the table, but it only a marketing guy use just requires 3 columns. So at the time, you on the select, you have the column list as 3 columns, and you join the tables and you write up some query and just give it to them. So that's how the you join the tables, and we don't give always star, when I say select star, you get all the columns, list of the columns, but you use only 3 or 4 columns usually, different purpose, for marketing people or something like that. So is that clear?
Yes. And what is the maximum capacity each table can
Right now,
store the data?
yes. So that's a good question. Usually, store the data or columns you are asking?
I need the both information.
Okay. So before, you have different versions, on Oracle. Oracle starts Oracle 1, 2 onwards. Even I haven't born, I was not born when Oracle was started. So
Okay.
So Oracle, the famous versions for the Oracle is 7.3. It was a basic. People will say 7.3 onwards. People talk about the Oracle a lot, because that has the capacity of solve the business purposes. So after 7.3, 8i, 9i, 10g, and 11G and 12C right now is going on. So each version has a different functionality, different things. After 9 till 9.9, one table can have only 256 columns. After 10,
256.
till 9.9, you'll
Okay.
be hearing 256 a lot of times, that was a limitation given by Oracle on lot of columns, or lot of certain things. But on columns also we have limit of 256. Right now,
Okay.
on 10G onwards, right now 11G, right now we are practicing on 11G, and right, current version is 12C. It's a cloud based. So
Okay.
11G, means 10G onwards, it's unlimited. You can create table even 1 lakh columns, 100,000 columns. No one will stop you. But that is not useful, right? You create a columns, that's not useful. Coming to the data, since beginning of since 7.3, that's a beginning, that's a most companies used version. Since 7.3 onwards, there is no limitation. As long as you create a database which has a sufficient memory on that, you can have the data. There is no limit. It is similar to your hard disk. You have a hard disk, right? So you can store
Mhm.
the data onto hard disk till you have a 500 GB hard disk available, or 1
Okay.
GB or 2 GB. So you can store that the data till 1 GB fills. After that you can't store it. You have to extend your memory, or you can add a additional hard disk, external hard disk, and store the data. Similar way also, Oracle is flexible. You can add up you can add up memory into it, and you can grow that database. So there is no limit on column wise as well as data wise. You guys are clear?
Yes.
So on the
And
database,
I have one more doubt.
yeah, go on.
What is the difference between the cloud base and other thing? Like I don't know exact meaning of the cloud base. That's the reason I'm asking.
Okay, okay. Cloud is nowadays, it's going on, it's a hot in the market right now. So
Mhm.
cloud is basically you have Apple Cloud, right? You nowadays, everyone is using Apple Cloud. You if you have an
Mm-hmm.
Apple phone, you are in cloud, right?
Yeah.
So all the messaging information between between the people, it's going on a cloud. It's, you register a cloud on your phone. You register as a user ID, and you are exchanging iMessages.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, you are following, right? So that is
Yeah.
called the cloud.
Yes.
So iMessages, without paying anything. So how the exchange, the how the messages are exchanging between you, between the cloud base, is basically through your email ID. You register it. That's ID. Email ID is the ID, and you are exchanging the exchange information, right? You are in one kind of one kind of environment, one kind of account, and you guys are exchanging, similar to Facebook. But Facebook is a
Okay.
different thing. But you have your ID. But that's a standalone. That's not a cloud based basically. But that's a standalone. But you can have in a cloud based as well. But cloud is basically anything within that means within that cloud, means within that setup basically. So if you are exchanging that information through connectivity, so that is so faster. You can save your messages. You can send your messages. You can send your pictures. You can send unlimited unlimited data on that one. There is no limit on that one. So all you need is you add a smartphone, smartphone, and all you need is you have a ID account basically. So you can
Mm-hmm.
exchange the information unlimited in unlimited way. So everyone nowadays, every application, cloud is started in a small manner, similar other applications. But nowadays it's grown. People, every software or company has to move to cloud. So everyone,
Okay.
to make the business in a smarter way, in a faster way, because nowadays everything has to be in a smarter and faster way, right? Everything you have to implement. I can't log into, if you want to access your information, similar to that one, you have to log into Facebook, and you have to log in, you have to go to online, you have to log in, you have to do so many activities, right? Log in and just go to that particular page, particular guy, and just click him, and just see the information, like you log into a mail and do that particular, that's a standalone. But when coming to the cloud, it is similar to like messaging the information. That's a cloud. But cloud is a different topic, and we are not we are not discussing here on cloud. But cloud is a different topic. But every company, every application, every database has to go to cloud nowadays. Without that, like there is no future for that. So cloud is a different topic, but the cloud. So Oracle is also offering cloud services for its databases. Is that clear?
Yes.
So that's about that information, and so we will discuss about the joins now.
Mhm.
So as we discuss, joins are basically so so joins are basically used to retrieve the data from multiple tables. That's what we were discussing, right? If you have multiple tables, it can be two tables, or it can be 1,000 tables, or it can be 100,000 tables. There is no difference. So if you want to retrieve any information between the multiple tables, then we use the joins. Okay, is that clear, right? Oracle join is performed whenever two or more tables are joined in a SQL table, in a SQL statement. Is that clear, right? Like if you have more one or two tables, if you are if you want to retrieve any information between the two tables, then we use the Oracle joins. Okay, and there are four types of joins available. One of the major thing is, one of the first thing is inner join. It is called a simple join, inner join, or some people it is called also equi join. You have a left outer join, you have a right outer join, and you have a full outer join. We will discuss about each and every join later. Okay, so first we'll discuss about the inner join or equi join. So inner join or equi join both are same. So basically, if you want to retrieve information, only the matched data between the two tables, then we go for a inner join. So inner join is basically if you have a matching records between the two tables, then you give the join information and you retrieve that information to on a select statement, then we go for a inner join. So the syntax is simple. Select the columns. It can be table 1 or it can be table 2. Okay, select columns from table 1, inner join, or you can write inner join on table 1 dot column and table 2 dot column, or we can say we have a different way as well. I'll explain that one. Okay, so you basically you have two tables and joining between these tables using the columns. So you join the tables using the different columns. So basically you join the tables and retrieve the information. And retrieve the information, and basically you will be selecting the columns whatever you require. It can be on all the columns from table 1, or it can be two or three columns from table 1, or it can be two or three columns from table 2. So this is the visual illusion, how it looks like. Suppose if you have table 1 and table 2, basically you are retrieving data whatever it is common between the two tables. So that is a set, right? So if there is any common information between the two tables on that particular column, joint columns, then we retrieve the information. We'll see in practical way. So this is about inner join. So basically what you have is you have two tables, right? Employees. So you have employees table. So you have so many columns, first name, last name, email, and so on, so on, so on, so on. Okay. Let's see first. Okay. Okay, so you have employee table. Okay, and